Guys, in this video, pardon me, had a hiccup of sorts. In this video, I'm going to be touching upon an idea in communication which is not talked about as much. And this actually has nothing to do with you changing your body language, your tonality, or whatever it is. You know, it has nothing to do with those technical aspects. Rather, it has to do with you fucking up in social situations, in a sense. What I mean by this is that often people are so petrified by the judgment and opinions of others, what others think about me, what others feel about me, that they don't understand that it's not only that not that important, but at the same time, being judged is actually a good thing. What I mean by this is that once you start consistently facing the judgment of others, once you start consistently putting yourself out there in front of others, I have two cool sticks with me, I've used them for my protection over here. You have these crazy dogs which can attack you here, so I've just used them for protection. Anyway, coming back to what I was saying, we can face the judgment of others consistently, put ourselves out there, and irrespective of what they think about us, good, bad, neutral, we can be comfortable with it. It's not necessarily about you performing a certain way in social situations, having the right tonality or body language. That can eventually be practiced, but first and foremost, you have to get comfortable being in social situations, being judged. And I'm making it a point to make these videos as vlogish as possible. I've noticed that I actually make these much like a motivational video. Someone who is seeing my videos would think that I'm a motivational speaker. But no, guys, I'm just sharing my experiences, spurring some ideas within you, and hoping that it hits the right chords, especially for the smart ones out there. So, one thing I'd like to highlight is that when you get into the habit, as I have been since the past 2 months, of putting yourself out there, whether it's through going near people whom you fear will judge you, or recording yourself, the entire body on camera, recording your conversations even. Once you get into the habit of doing that, you are much more comfortable being watched. You are much more uh, comfortable amid the eyes of others. That's the best way I can put it. Often what happens is that we are uncomfortable being seen. In modern society especially, we have a love-hate relationship with this. We want to be seen, but at the same time we are hiding. So once you get out of the hiding mode and you start exposing yourself to people, that's where a lot of your fear starts to dissolve. And this is the first thing I feel we should be doing, instead of trying out some new body language or communication hack and worrying more and more about how people perceive us. Firstly, becoming comfortable with the opinions of others. That relieves you a lot of the unnecessary pressure that might otherwise stifle your progress when you're trying to work on your communication skills. Guys, another thing I like to highlight is that often external energies can dictate how we think and how we interact with other people. And a glaring example of this is right in front of me. I'm right now in a forest, and although it's not seeming as dark right now, it usually has a lot of dark and dense energies. And I noticed that whenever I used to pass this path, I would have arguments with a friend of mine. And initially, I didn't think much about it, the first time. But later, I realized that this is a trend. Whenever I cross down this path, we have arguments. And it wasn't necessarily about me or her, some flaw in us, but rather the flaw in this place. We have to be very mindful of what kind of energies we are dealing with in our environment. They can heavily influence the quality of our conversations. So that's it, guys. I just thought of sharing this quick insight with you and seeing whether you can derive value from it. And yeah, I'd also like to mention the fact that uh, I'll be sharing more anecdotes of mine, more stuff about what's happening around me, and taking a more vlogish approach, as I hinted in the earlier part of the video. Don't want to add myself to the motivational speakers list. There's already 1,000 of them, and you know the kind of reputation they have, right? They don't walk their talk and they're just preachy. And I don't want to be that way. I want to be someone who is just sharing his experiences in a strong manner, but yeah, sharing his experiences. These are some cool sticks, by the way. We'll talk to you guys later on in a later video with a later and more enriching insight. Stay tuned.